What if Yujiro was transported into Gotham City and joined the rogues gallery of the Batman? Would he be able to beat the Bats? I'll be splitting this fight into two parts. One where Batman has no prep time, and one where he does. Since it's such an important aspect of the character that people praise him for, like he's a god. I understand it, but I'm more of a Superman fan myself. Likewise, the iteration of Batman matters because some are so overpowered. Yujiro would stand no chance. For example, like Hellbat or the Batman Who Laughs. The version of Batman I'll reference for this versus battle is Batman Post-Crisis or Tomorrowverse, because I'm more familiar with this version and also because this Batman has consistent feats or showings of what he's capable of on a superhuman or peak human level. But I'm free to use any other version, but I'll mainly use Post-Crisis, just on your average take on Batman and what he would have in his arsenal most of the time, even when it's a different version of the character. Like for example, how every Batman would obviously have a Batarang. Lastly, I won't include any version of Bruce with enhancements or any tech that he wouldn't normally use, like I stated previously. Batman's rogue gallery is vast and colorful with distinct characters, and I'd figure Yujiro would fit in pretty well actually. He would not only be Batman's most demanding hand-to-hand combatant ever, but Yujiro also can't be defeated under normal circumstances, like knocking him out or subduing him through smoke bombs or gas. Batman would need an unorthodox plan to possibly beat Yujiro. And if you think about it, Yujiro could be interpreted as a combination of Batman's villains. Yujiro has a kind of crazy outlook like the Joker, martial arts mastery and experience like Ra's al Ghul, casting illusions like the Scarecrow, brute force like Bane, ferocity like Killer Croc. Maybe more, but for now it makes sense. Getting into Batman's scaling, his attack power is at least large building level due to him being able to break steel doors with a few kicks, which requires building level force to pull off. Also scaling from his villains like Bane, who also have building level amount of power, as well as there being supplementary feats for Batman that would still put him around building level to large building level range in attack power consistently. The man is peak human after all. Now, Yujiro's attack power is far stronger by the cause of the infamous stopping an earthquake with a punch feats, which brings Yujiro's attack power to around city level, since it was Yujiro from the past that performed the feats, and Yujiro gets stronger every day, meaning his current state would be much stronger. I know people don't like this feat because they say it's an outlier or it doesn't make sense, which it literally isn't. It's not an outlier, and each universe or story has its own level of sense. Anyways, I'll scale Yujiro from his son Baki instead, where in this instance, Baki created a mini earthquake just by sparring with an imaginary version of his father. Yeah, an imagination. Don't ask me how that's possible. It's been calculated to be multi-city block level, and Yujiro is outright stronger than his son as of now, even scaling much higher for Yujiro with additional points, such as Baki was only training here, so he would have a stronger output if he was going all out, and Yujiro was already massively stronger from the get-go, thus he'd have a stronger output in general, and Demon Back, which multiplies all his stats, thus raising the attack power really high, putting it in city level plus range of attack power. Batman's durability, it could be simple to gauge, but there's instances where he's taken hits from stronger opponents that do have a higher attack power than the building level range, and with some that might argue his durability would be greater than his attack power, but that's certainly not the case. Occasions where Batman is fighting someone who's much stronger than him, on average not being able to take the person's strikes without significant damage. One instance would be when he's confronting Wonder Woman over a lady she was protecting. Some people would say he's durable for taking the punch from Wonder Woman, which is extremely goofy. Because if you read the comic, Wonder Woman's intention is not to fight Bruce. Instead, she was holding back and just trying to keep him away from the woman. This type of thing can be seen for any of Batman's larger-than-life opponents he faces. Superman, Doomsday, etc. Batman doesn't scale to them per se, rather his tech and intelligence is what keeps him poised in the fight. And let's not forget plot armor coming into play. He's still undoubtedly tough, even without the Batsuit, which the suit itself can allow him to take hits from superhumans. It's bulletproof, it can stop piercing and slashing attacks. It does well against explosions, corrosive substances, extreme temperatures. It's shockproof, sonic wave-proof. Sometimes it could even protect him from magic and legit energy. But this is about the consistent showings of Bruce's suit, so I don't expect the Batsuit to defend Bruce against magic and energy on average. That being said, his suit is strong, but it's not invincible. Like, even someone like Bane was able to hurt Batman with the suit on. With all that being said, I'd still say his durability is on the building level range, but depending on the suit, it could potentially be higher, bringing it to maybe city block level plus. Now for Yujiro, as it affirms in the holy book Hanma Baki, the strongest creature on Earth is unstoppable and no weapon on Earth could bring him down, including nukes. I don't mind if you reject this thought because it wasn't shown to us, just stated in both anime and manga. Although since the anime and manga have different translations, but they still hold the notion of Yujiro being able to tank nukes, as well as other characters having questionable feats of also tanking large damaging explosions, but they're not entirely confirmed either. There is absolutely nothing to disprove this notion, so it's more than likely true. On that sentiment, since Yujiro could likely tank a nuke according to statements, comparing him to the SAR bomb, which is the strongest nuke in existence, capable of leveling a city, potentially mountains, if it's in range, but I'll keep it at city, meaning Yujiro's durability would be city level plus, harkening to his attack potency, which is also city level plus. Speed for Batman, I could chalk up to Batman being at best a lightning timer because of the feat of Barbara Gordon dodging lightning, and since Bruce is all around stronger and faster than Barbara and the rest of the Bat family, he scales above them, establishing him as massively hypersonic plus in the speed range. Pretty easy for Batman's speed, am I right? Now, if you're one of those people that want to say Batman is on the level of light speed for dodging Darkseid's Omega Beams, or any other feat of the sorts, you can't be serious. You just can't. Batman is a human, of the sense, a strong human, but is in a team full of aliens, gods, and superhumans. He's not keeping up with them physically at all. Like, come on now, what are you thinking? It's purely just plot armor and convenience that Batman is able to do what he does. Like the Omega Beams, for example. They're able to tag Superman and the Flash, but Batman's able to dodge it? Question mark? Now that's some goofy plot armor right there. In hindsight, Batman would be getting blitzed in those kind of scenarios. So on a relativistic picture, your average Batman is massively hypersonic plus in the speed category, and anything higher would be unreasonable. Same for Yujiro, as he's stated to be able to dodge lightning, which puts him as a massively hypersonic plus speedy character, just like Batman. Unless you want to say he's also light speed because of this panel, but yeah, you would also be goofy. The utility gear of the Dark Knight is pretty commodious. Having the equipment needed for almost every setting, yeah, that really sounds stellar. His standard gear consists of batarangs, grappling hooks, smoke bombs, explosives, Batmobile, etc. Like many more, depending on like which version of Batman you're taking, on the average sense. But on the flip end, for his unconventional gear, he could possess tools like a flamethrower, a bat sword, projectile ears. You're definitely not going to see Batman use any of those like all the time, but it's always in store. Now, despite mentioning a lot of his gadgets, I don't think any of them could defeat Yujiro unless we're talking about like big specific contraptions tailored just for Yujiro. Otherwise, his standard gear wouldn't really be doing much. Like Batman uses his shock gloves, not doing much of anything to Yujiro because Yujiro could take lightning like it was nothing for extended periods of time. Batman uses his freeze gun. Pretty certain Yujiro with his aura alone could just defrost the ice, even if he's frozen from top to bottom. Fleet gas. Yujiro's internal system is just as strong as him, so he's happily breathing in that gas, and it will do diddly squats to him. I can go on for more of the equipment, but I think you get the idea. I know some people might bring up that all Batman needs is some nets and darts to defeat Yujiro because, oh, he was beaten before in the manga with nets and darts. Now that, my friend, that is an outlier, and it's super inconsistent for what Yujiro could do. If, for whatever reason, if you don't want to take my word and still say Yujiro could be defeated by some nets and darts, if Batman uses it, let's not forget, Batman has been hurt by bullets before and even weaker things, but I don't want to be petty right now. Just know Yujiro is multitudes of times stronger than another character in the Baki story known as Pickle, whose base form has bullets bouncing off his body. And in the recent manga, he's gotten so much stronger. So since Yujiro is far stronger than a character whose bullets just bounce off his skin, not only would like bullets be like nothing to Yujiro, like darts would be nothing. Darts wouldn't even they wouldn't even come close to his skin on the inside. They just bounce off the same way as bullets. And so the darts and nets would be entirely ineffective against Yujiro. Circling back to Batman, he knows pretty much every martial arts in existence and can very well make his own. Yujiro has the same statements as well and can possibly even copy martial arts styles and techniques just by looking at them. Even though it probably hasn't been stated that Batman could possibly copy techniques and styles by looking at them also, I don't doubt that Batman has some mimicry skill, not full-blown copying, but something to make sure he wouldn't be lacking in a hand-to-hand fight against Yujiro. There's also the fact that Batman has defeated Ra's al Ghul, a character who's lived for hundreds of years with also hundreds of years of fighting experience. Granting all this, I don't think that that's enough to prove Batman would hold too much of an edge in a fight, since the opponent he's facing now in this versus battle is also a master martial artist with unorthodox skills. And please, let's not forget, Batman has lost to lesser fighting experts in the past, due to one reason or the other, so he's still prone to losing. That's just by the way. Generally speaking, I'd say the winner of this fight comes down to who's a better martial artist, and I'll probably have to give it to Yujiro, mainly due to his hacks martial arts abilities, like X-ray vision for seeing weak points, mind reading, conjuring illusions, creating imaginary forces that could increase his power, some kind of spidey sense ability, I call it Hanma sense, and probably has loads more since we haven't seen him go all out in a fight yet. Not to mention Demon Back, which boosts all of his stats. All these powers is most definitely something Batman has seen before in his years of crime fighting. Maybe not from his own rogue gallery, but from the superpowered beings he encountered in all his different iterations. He would have some resistance, some knowledge when dealing with Yujiro's different hacks. It would still be very hard for Batman to handle since he's fighting someone who is just as good or is a better martial artist than him, and the person is physically superior. I can't lie, Yujiro's overconfidence could be his downfall. Batman would most definitely find an opening in that fight since he has experienced outsmarting his foes with mental gymnastics. He'd have the advantage playing with Yujiro's ego. But if Yujiro is calm, collected, the fight would be much harder for Batman in the grand scheme of things. Overall, I think Yujiro wins mid to high div. Batman's gadgets won't be troubling him. He has more attack power, higher durability, slightly more speed if he uses Demon Back, and he has more prominent fighting abilities. What is your opinion on the matter, my dear viewer? I would like to know. So if now Batman has prep time, could Yujiro possibly defeat him? Absolutely not. This man is borderline godly when it comes to his prep time. He has what it takes to thwart beings far more powerful than Yujiro. I honestly think it's no competition. He does certainly peak at cosmic level beings. When it comes to who he overpowers with prep time, characters close to the Superman strength tier, he would be able to beat, or he has already beaten them. So, Yujiro should be a piece of cake to take down, since these characters are leagues above him overall. Given Batman enough time, he should come out on top. And I don't want to be thinking on what Batman would use in order to defeat Yujiro when it comes to prep. I'll leave that to you, dear viewer.